And hello everybody, I am Mike TheZorch, and I am a fluffy boy who needs one fluffy. So let me get ready here. Alright, I have the display where I can see some messages from you guys, and I appreciate all the messages that you guys give me. A lot of you from Mixer that I get in the morning. A lot of people from Europe, which is pretty cool. Put my feet in the stirrups. The bike. Alright. And pedal. Starting a little late today. And you know, hey, Hobby Games 3. Welcome to the stream. Just starting. Got started a little late today. Was gonna start at exactly 9, but didn't exactly get in at 9. And we didn't go out yesterday. We were planning on heading out, doing some shopping where we're going to try and get our food budget under control and go to Sam's Club. Now, those of you who are joining me from overseas, I don't know if you have Sam's Club over there. Yeah, same here. A little tired. Don't know if you have Sam's Club. Well, I know Walmart is in the UK, I think. I think I've heard some people say Walmart's over there. Sam's Club is a... You have to be a member to shop there, and it's a bulk store. You buy in bulk. They've got everything from groceries to clothing, appliances, televisions, things like that. And it's run by Walmart. It's owned by Walmart. So, we're gonna be heading there. Oh, there's no Walmart. I thought someone said there was a Walmart there. Okay. Toxic Skills. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I thought someone said there. I thought someone previously said there was one. Oh well. Well, it's a store where you can buy stuff in bulk, usually groceries in bulk, and other stuff like cleaning supplies and things like that. So we're gonna go and see what we can get and see if we can bring our food budget down some, because it is kind of high, because eating healthy is expensive. Like, wow, expensive. Aunt Kitty, I am busy at the moment here. Come here. If you want me to hold you, you have to come here. You know, it's like, wow, expensive. Avoiding the prepackaged stuff. The prepackaged stuff is cheaper than the healthy stuff. Also, the prepackaged stuff has an ingredients list that reads like a high school chemistry lab list, and it's all full of sugar. And you come here. Oh. Yes. When she wants attention, she reaches up and she grabs my arm. Yes. Yes, you do. And you do it in the times when you do it in most inopportune moments, too. Don't you? Yeah. This is Callie. She's the baby of the three. We've had her since she was a kitten. She was so small she would fit in your hand when we got her. And now she's a big spoiled kitty. Aren't you? Huh? Aren't you? Yeah, you're a good girl. You're a spoiled brat, but you're a good girl. Yeah. I bought a PSP yesterday. Never owned a handheld. I've never owned one of the handheld systems. I could not see the original Game Boy screen. Could not see it. You know, they had, back when Kmart was still a thing here in the US, when they were still like the top store, they had a kiosk with a Playboy. Freudian slip there. With a Game Boy. Okay, a travel case in James Cameron's Avatar the game. Okay, cool. But they had a kiosk there and they had the Game Boy set up, and I tried playing it and I just could not see the screen with my vision. The only system where I could actually see the screen was when I saw the XL version of the DS. Probably the 3DS XL, if I ever got one of those. If I ever got a 3DS or whatever, it would be an XL. I don't know if I can see the Switch screen. I can see my tablet screen, and it's not that much bigger than a Switch. So I could probably see the Nintendo Switch, but I would likely just play it docked. No. Because I can see the screen on our Wii U. We have a Wii U. And I've been wanting to play the new Legend of Zelda for a while. But just haven't had much of a chance. I won't stream the game. I like Nintendo's games. Don't so much like them as a company. Their games are great, but their business decisions haven't been the greatest. Oh, you beat it already? Yeah, I know a lot of people probably have. I mean, it's one of those games where you can just go straight to Hyrule Castle and beat Ganon without doing anything else in the game. I've watched people do it in videos. They'll go straight from the plateau, head straight to the castle, and defeat Ganon. It's not easy, but it's possible. I mean, it's very hard, but it is possible. Oh. For a company that's never done an open world game like that, Nintendo did a pretty good job. They did a pretty good job. She got down and she's still wanting attention. She's down here rubbing her head up against my hand. She does that. She's in one of her moods. Aren't you, kitty? We have very moody cats. Callie's the affectionate one. Foxy is stupid. And Tigger is the queen of the place. Don't see her in here too often. She's usually sleeping right about now. A little bit. I haven't watched too many. Watched the original Hellraiser, the Chucky films. I think I've seen just about all of pretty much almost all the Friday the 13th movies. I mean, I'm not a huge horror movie fan, but I've seen quite a few. Pedaling. Yeah, I should get this. And then turn it on. There. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen any of the Friday the 13th films. I haven't seen some of the latest, like, stuff from Halloween. You saw the first couple of original films, but I haven't seen the newer ones. I've never watched Saw, and I was never really interested in Saw. Yeah, it's been a while since I actually watched a real horror movie. Yeah, never really interested me. I know they're popular. I know they're very popular. They never really interested me. No. I'm more a fantasy and sci-fi guy. You know. Okay, cool. You know, later this year we're gonna go see Avengers Endgame. We might go see Captain Marvel. I know the whole thing with Brie Larson, her shooting her mouth off, you know. But people like her, SJWs, they can't help but flap their jaws. They can't stay shut up. They have to spread their propaganda. Doesn't mean the movie's bad. It may not be. I don't see Marvel Studios allowing that to happen, especially after what happened with Star Wars. You know, I don't see them letting that happen. And, you know, Endgame is the culmination of 10 years of them doing those films. And do you really honestly think that they're going to let that be put in jeopardy so that so that some whack job people can spread their propaganda? 10 years of legacy, starting with, you know, the original Iron Man movie, which was great, and ending with the biggest, you know, two-part film, epic that they've done yet. You really think they're gonna put that in jeopardy just so these whack jobs can spread their ideology? I don't think so. There's nothing equality about it, about their message. Nothing equality about it. It is, you know, it's political correctness. That whole thing is bigotry and hate thinly veiled. It is, George Carlin said it better than me. Wish he was still around. We need him right now. Because he saw this coming. He saw these people coming. He knew that this was coming. All the stuff that's happening now in media with them. He saw this coming. And if he were alive today, oh, he would be burning them left and right. But I don't want to have to get into talking about that. I don't want all that negativity on the show right now. That stuff pisses me off. Where they get up on their high horse and they act like, oh, this is just the greatest thing, where we're equality and diversity and all this peace and stuff, and it's not. It's bigotry pretending to be not something it's not. And the fact the media is complicit in helping them spread that crap just grinds my gears. So don't let me don't let me get on my soapbox for that. That just pisses me off. Anyway, we're changing the subject, getting back on the regular subject. We're probably gonna go see Captain Marvel, despite all that garbage. We are going to wait for the reviews before we go see Episode 9 of Star Wars later this year, because we were burned by The Last Jedi, which, you know, maybe I should change the subject, because I'm starting to get pissed. You know what we haven't had in a long time are the type of comedy films you find from, you know, the Naked Gun, Airplane, those sorts of films. We haven't had comedies like that in a while. Those completely absurd, completely crazy films. I know that a lot of the people who were involved in them are gone. Leslie Nielsen, he was great. He's gone. You know, it's sad that Robert Williams is gone. He would have been great for a lot of those comedies. Jim Carrey's still around. He's got out of doing films. He's back. But I haven't seen any of his latest stuff. And he did some great comedies. You know, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. I think two of his best films, though. Two of his best were The Mask and When the Grinch Stole Christmas. That was like pure gold. Yeah, that's the thing. You got two people who get offended way too easily nowadays. And by stupid stuff. Don't get me back on my soapbox about that. They get offended by some of the stupidest things. things that you shouldn't be getting offended about. It's like, come on, people. Stop being so thin-skinned. Jeez. Like, grow a pair. Have some backbone. Pedaling, I am sweating. Sweating, and I'm not even 30 minutes in. So this is getting a little easier for me to pedal. May have to adjust this for next time. Adjust the tension knob so that it's a little tougher. It's getting a little too easy for me now. My knee is still iffy, but at least it doesn't hurt all the time. And again, we're going to be going out doing a lot of walking. Usually about 30 minutes. That's what I used to do when we were going to Bally's. When we lived in Maryland, there was a Bally's we used to go to. And I would get on the exercise bike and I would go for like 30 minutes. Yep. This is the reason why I do it. And up here too. Because it helps up here. Because exercise is good for your body physically and mentally. And, you know, the mental side. I'm not. I think we're all a little bit crazy. And thank you for the encouraging words. They're toxic. Yeah. I mean, doing this, I could just do this in the morning and not even stream it. But, you know, Jerry Berg, who he's the guy I watched. He's the guy I found. He's the guy who talked about his depression, and that's how I found out I had it too, because the things happening to him was happening to me. And he's the guy I watched, and I found out that you know, I had depression. And that was like, I think it was like more than a year ago. And I had been thinking on ways to deal with it. And I never told my friends until recently, although they suspected something was up. And last year it came back with a vengeance. And I thought, you know, I need to do something. Then Tygra had this whole idea of the change in diet. Yeah. True. More enjoyment. Keeps my mind off the things I'm doing. Yeah. Makes it feel less like something I need to do and like something I want to do, and it's being able to talk with great people like you and others who come on the stream, you know, really helps. It really does, and I appreciate it a lot. You guys are great. You know, I've never had anybody, I've never had a negative Nancy come on the stream. You guys have always been very great. You are very welcome, Toxic Skills. Very welcome. So, doing this, the change in diet was actually Tygra's idea. He wanted to do the change in diet. Originally, he was going to do it himself, but then he just ended up dragging me and Dave along with him, and we've been on it ever since. And I've been slimming because of it. You know, it is the It's not exactly the keto diet. It's not an exact keto diet. It's sort of a version of the diet. We cut out gluten because gluten is hard to digest. Cut out wheat because when you eat wheat, when you eat bread, it actually prevents your body from processing fats the way it's supposed to. Sugar also, and it's bad for you. And also sodas. I used to drink tons of sodas, and those have high fructose corn syrup, and that's not good for you. And for a while, I switched to diet sodas. That has aspartame, and that's really not good for you either. So now I'm on water and occasionally orange juice. For when we have dinner, we have orange juice, and that's the one I get is a brand with no sugar added and no pulp. We both get, me and Tygra both get orange juice that has no pulp and no sugar added. It's just fresh squeezed orange juice. Surprisingly, there's a lot of brands out there that are not that. Most of them are all from concentrate. Mine is sort of a half and half, fresh squeezed and concentrate, but there's no added sugar. But there's a surprising amount of stuff with sugar in it, surprising amount of stuff with high fructose corn syrup in it, here in the US at least. Surprising amount of stuff. It's hard to avoid it. Ever since we started doing this diet, it's been very, very hard to avoid stuff with processed sugar, high fructose corn syrup. Very hard. Because it's in a lot of places. You know, places where you wouldn't expect it to be. Plus, all these chemical stuff that they put in the food. You know, where you have to break out a dictionary and a thesaurus just to be able to read the ingredients. Cheat days? We haven't really. Not really. We might if we go to Shreveport and watch movies in IMAX. We might go to IHOP. You know, and basically get something there that avoids stuff like that. You can eat a few things there that are not on the menu. We used to go on at least once or twice a month to the Corral, Golden Corral. That is a buffet place. We haven't been there in a while. But yeah, we don't usually have. We know that there will be some days when we might have no other option. You know, if we go on a road trip to someplace, which we occasionally do. You know, we go watch movies out in Shreveport. We'll go to the IHOP there, or we'll just come back and have something. Since we make everything from scratch, you know, making lunch and dinner is an involved process. Because if there's anything that needs to be chopped, I gotta chop it. You know, defrost the meat and everything, and measure out the ingredients. It's like we gotta make. I mean, if we make spaghetti squash, which I bake the spaghetti squash and then I make my own sauce. I found recipes for my own spaghetti sauce, my own pizza sauce, taco seasoning, and everything, and I made wraps out of arrowroot flour and almond flour. You have to make everything from scratch because everything else is full of garbage. And putting all that stuff in you is not healthy. And then the whole world wonders why most people in the US are fat. Because there's all this garbage in our food. And the FDA allows it. Yeah. It's part of the mystery. I have no idea if you're a guy or girl or something in between. If you're from Germany, Denmark, UK, France, Italy, Russia, don't know. I usually get a lot of people from Europe in the UK. Had somebody from Denmark. Ah, you're from the UK. You're from across the pond, as they say. That's pretty cool. Now, on occasion, I've watched British Parliament. You know, watching British Parliament is actually fun. I watch C-SPAN. I watch, deliberations in Congress. Here, it's like, oh, what? Somebody said something? Oh, and like watching Parliament in the UK, especially recently with the whole Brexit thing. It's like, that is actually entertaining. You have a very lively Parliament. I especially love the guy who's the Speaker. Oh, he is snarky. I forget his name. The guy who's the Speaker. But yeah, he is a snarky dude. They have no idea what they're doing. Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's true. It's like watching a comedy of errors. Now I know where they get. Now I know where the British comedians get it from. Because I've been somewhat of a fan of some British comedies. Like one I'm a big fan of is League of Gentlemen. I don't know if you've seen that. They're pretty twisted. I grew up on watching Monty Python on PBS and public broadcasting here. Never got into Fawlty Towers. Oh, a really good show that I used to watch, Mrs. Brown's Boys. Oh, that was hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious. Now they stopped doing the show because they went on. I understand they went on tour and were doing live shows on stage around the country, and then they were going to come back and do the TV series again. It's been a while since I've seen it. Yeah. Oh, that is a hilarious show. That is a hilarious show. The guy that does Mrs. Brown, he's much better than Tyler Perry. Yes, I know that. Yes, I know that. My ex was big into Tyler Perry's Medea stuff, videos. Not nearly as funny. Not nearly as funny. Man, I am sweating. I have to change my... This is my shirt from yesterday. I'm so lazy. Me's a lazy boy. I have to change my shirt and get cleaned up before we go. Don't want to be stinky in Sam's Club. But yeah, I think of all the British comedies, oh yes, not it, it's like that they should just turn it into a live TV. They should do a comedy about British Parliament. I understand The Office was originally a British comedy. A lot of shows here in the US are surprisingly from over there. The Office was originally a show from the UK. It was another one. Dang. I know America's Got Talent was originally Britain's Got Talent. I don't know if The Voice was originally from there. I've never watched Eurovision, I've only seen clips. But that's not comedy, that's getting into the music and stuff. But, yeah. When it comes to comedy, you guys have just got... Over there in the UK, you just got a different style, let's just say. I mean, if you watch League of Gentlemen, that's definitely a very different style. Oh, another one I grew up on. Though it was likely heavily censored. One of the independent channels, while I was growing up in the 80s, had Benny Hill reruns after midnight. And I grew up watching that. That explains how I turned out. I don't know if you ever seen... You probably heard of Benny Hill. You've probably never seen him. But, I grew up on that. That was also funny. But yeah, nothing beats watching British politics. I mean, you want a good laugh, just watch a good hour of, just watch a good hour of the House of Commons or the House of Lords, and you'll be rolling on the floor. Not entirely sure exactly how it's all structured there. I know it's very different from how we have it here in the US. Very different. Because I know you have a prime minister who is voted on, then the prime minister assembles their cabinet, their government. It's similar to how we do it here, but it's also very different at the same time. The Japanese have a similar system to the UK. They have a similar system. Their parliament's called the Diet. Alright. Oh, ow. Oh, that did not feel good. Don't do that. Okay. Legs wanting to cramp up. That's not good. Don't do that. Okay. Alright. Time for the weights. And I think in the past video I showed these, that I bought these. These are just hand exercisers. So while I'm sitting, you won't be sitting here watching me for like 20-30 minutes doing this. I use these throughout the day if I'm watching videos, if I'm not playing something, which my computer's all tied up right now doing something else. I've got 2 hard drives that are going out on me on my external storage that I need to replace and don't have the money to replace right now, so I've got check disk running on both of them to mark the bad spots so I can still use it until I replace them. They don't hold anything important. They've got my Steam library on them. I can always re-download that stuff after I get a couple of new drives. Alrighty then, because I picked up, I saw how much I've got left for the end of the month, and I saw that Metro Exodus was priced a little lower than I was expecting it to be, and I thought, you know, I've got the money for it, and I'm gonna get paid in a couple of days, so decided to pick it up. Okay, I'll be back on tomorrow. In fact, I do this every day. I do this every day, Monday through Friday, at the same time. So if you want to join back on, watch tomorrow, Thursday, and tomorrow's Thursday and Friday. Feel free. I'll be here. And I also have Discord if anyone wants to join. The link to that is in the video description on the YouTube side of the stream on my channel, the Zorch Central channel. We do have a Discord server. I should put links to that on everything. I'm gonna have to see if I can actually put information like that on my profile page for Mixer. I can put the link to my Discord server over there. But right now the only place where that's at is in the video description on YouTube. I also need to put that on the Twitch side. I haven't been using that for a while for actual gaming stuff. I need to change that. I need to do a lot more video game streaming. You know, I don't play a lot of games, but when I do, I usually go all day. I mean, I've been playing a lot of Fallout 4 lately, but I've been messing around with mods. You know, I may have to revert one of my games, because when I started messing around with I think it was Sim Settlements, started messing around with that, and then now I've got this bug where I'm getting like 16 points of experience like every few seconds, and I don't know what's causing it. It was like right after I talked to Preston. I just got done at the 10 penny settlement. Talked to Preston, joined the Minutemen, and then I went there and I started setting up plots for I started setting plots up for sim settlements. And after that, I started getting pinged 16 experience points every few seconds on a regular basis. And I uninstalled sim settlements, and I don't know what's still causing it. I may have to revert to a past save before all that and rerun that quest. Something's causing that. Either that or I'm gonna have to start all over again. That means everything that I built up and everything, because I'm at level 30, I think it's 35, I'm gonna have to work back up to that again. Now, I just capped out, affinity with Nick Valentine. He's like one of my favorite companions. I travel with him all over the place. More so than anybody else. I don't know. Don't know what could be broken. Speaking of that, the problems that Anthem are having right now, are somewhat partially due to EA's policy that everybody has to use the Frostbite engine, and the Frostbite engine is not really geared for games like Anthem. It wasn't geared for games like Mass Effect Andromeda. And the reason why those games suffered is that most of the development time for those games had to be spent just adding features that the engine just didn't have. Like the ability to handle, inventory and things like that. The game didn't have any mechanisms in it. The engine had no mechanisms for that. And so those had to be built. Well, the time spent building those mechanisms, building that technology into the engine, could have been spent making the games better. So I suspect that a lot of the problems with Anthem right now are because BioWare had to work around all the limitations of the Frostbite engine. I know it's a good engine. It does first-person shooters great. If Respawn was working, if Respawn releases another Titanfall and they use Frostbite, they wouldn't have much of a problem with it because it's a first-person shooter. They might have to do a little development to get the Titans to work, but overall they wouldn't have to do as much work as BioWare had to do with Andromeda and Anthem. Whereas Respawn used the Source engine, which it's a much older engine, but if you look at Apex Legends, you wouldn't be able to you can't tell that that's an old engine. I mean, the Source engine, that's from 2004, 5, when Half-Life came out. It was from 2000. I think it was 2004. Somewhere about when Half-Life 2 came out. They're using that engine. Now, it's been updated a lot by Valve. It's been updated a lot. So, it has a lot of modern graphical features to it. And Apex Legends looks really good, despite being an old engine. And then you have Bethesda's creation engine, which is essentially Gamebryo. And Gamebryo's not that great an engine to begin with. I don't know why they used Gamebryo over something like the Unreal Engine. No, the Unreal Engine would have been good to use. A lot of people use the Unreal Engine. It's got a lot of mechanisms in it for, you know, it's not just for first-person shooters. You know, it's for a variety of different games. You can make side-scrollers, you can make RPGs, I mean, you can make a wide variety of stuff in the Unreal Engine. It's a little more work to work with it because it's two ways. One, you can use blueprints. They're somewhat limited, but not that limiting. They are the internal scripting engine for the game, or you can work with the source code. The way you can now is you can actually use the C++ source code for the Unreal Engine 4 with Visual Studio. And you can do development that way. So you can actually get into the core of the engine and change things. And there have been some really great games made with that engine. Really great games. Or they could have used, you know, could have used Lumberyard, which is a fork of the CryEngine from Amazon. They could have used anything else. They could have even used Unity. Well, Unity wasn't around when they did. Unity really wasn't around, really wasn't up to spec yet when Bethesda did Oblivion and Morrowind. Yeah, Unity wasn't even a thing when they did Morrowind. But Unreal is around. There was a variety of engines they could have used. For Fallout 4, they could have used anything because there were options. You know, Unity had become a good engine. A lot of people know how to use that. It uses mono. You know, uses C# as its core. There was the Unreal Engine. The Unreal Engine was very mature when Fallout 4 released. CryEngine was still very mature. Lumberyard, I think, didn't come out until after Fallout 4. That is what Cloud Imperium Games is using to build Star Citizen. But the point I'm trying to make is, you know, Respawn made Apex Legends with a very old game engine that doesn't look like it's a very old game engine. It still looks really good on modern machines. But then you look at Gamebryo, you look at the engine that Bethesda built with Gamebryo, the creation engine. Its limitations are really showing, especially with Fallout 76. The limitations of the engine are really showing, and I know that they like sticking with it because it's so easy to use. The creation tools that they built for it are so easy to use, but it comes a point when you have to actually innovate, when you have to actually, you know, switch to better technology. Now, from what I understand, for the next Elder Scrolls and for Starfield, they're going to use the same engine. That's worrying. That is worrying. And I think for Starfield, they said they were going to use, it was either Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6, they were going to use a new animation engine. They were going to shoehorn that into the creation engine. That's what they've been doing. That's what the creation engine is. It's basically Gamebryo with new subsystems shoehorned in, you know, for improved graphics and everything. They're reaching the limits of what that engine can do. They're just pushing the edge of what that engine's capable of. And they really need to upgrade. I mean, Valve has done a great job of updating Unreal, the Source engine. Because Apex Legends looks really good. A lot of games built with the Source engine look really good. You know, Half-Life 2, it looks a little dated, but if you install, there's a cinematics mod that you can install. And if you install that, it changes the game radically. It makes it almost a completely new game visually. It's so much better looking. I have that installed. Now it changed the music, and I was streaming it for a time on my channel, and it got copyright claimed. So I turned off the music and went back to the regular music. But the visuals are just incredible, and they even changed the some of the models, some of the character models, which are also very good. It just shows just how good the technology is. The underlying the reason why it's so good is that the underlying technology was so good that Valve built into it. Gamebryo didn't have that kind of attention. Gamebryo was built to make, you know, fast, cheap, you know, casual games. That's what that engine was designed for. It wasn't designed to build, you know, big top-tier AAA games like Elder Scrolls and Fallout. But Bethesda's using it to do that, and they're running into issues. Because the underlying technology just isn't there, and they're having to make a lot of, you know, huge modifications to the engine just to make it perform. And because because they're so happy with their creation tools, they're sticking with an engine that is now, you know, no longer adequate. That is no longer adequate for, you know, what they're needing it to do. It's like there was no multiplayer capability in Gamebryo, in the creation engine, and they had to shoehorn that in. It was never, the engine was never designed, never meant for it, and it works, but it's not the best. D33S, thank you for the follow. 1, 2, 6, 7, 10. 1, 2, 6, 7, 10. 2, 6, 7. Today I was planning to do some kind of streaming today, but since we didn't go out yesterday, we're going out today. That's sort of next. So I may do it either tomorrow or Friday. I do this every morning. Do this stream every morning, but my channel may, if these scans on my drives get done and they're usable again, at least for a while, I can finish installing Metro Exodus and maybe play that on stream. We'll see what happens. I started this last night and it's still going. One of my drives repaired a few files. Silent Attack 1, thank you for the follow. Thank you very much. The other one hasn't popped up with any errors, but it's not as far along. So the 2 check discs on the discs, I need to replace those. I've got 4 drives in there. I used to do video editing in here. Now I do it on the Threadripper machine in the other room. And so my 2 other drives are a little smaller, and they were my scratch discs for HitFilm. But I don't use HitFilm anymore. I use Adobe in there. I remote in from this machine into there because the screens are just horrible to look at in there. So I remote in from here, and it looks much better. I'm able to use it better that way. Yep, I'm still going. But once those disk checks are done, what it'll do is it'll mark all the bad sectors that are on those 2. They were refurbished drives from Newegg to begin with. I really need to get new ones, but they're so expensive hard drives. They are 3 terabyte drives. I got 2 of them in there. I'm going to replace them all. Place all the drives in there with larger drives. We have both. We have both systems. We barely play them. One of the things we're going to do, and it's not going to be until later in the year, because we have a capture card. We have a USB 3 capture card, but it's messing up. Because the last time Tygra tried to use it for something, and he couldn't get audio out of it. It's one I used for a long time to do game capture. And what we were planning on doing is moving, because we don't hardly use them anymore. And we're getting rid of the DirecTV. We're going to move the game consoles out of the living room and put them in with the streaming system, so that I can get some games and do some game streaming. Like, I wanted to stream Horizon Zero Dawn on the PS4, and maybe some of the Halo games on Xbox. You know, some other stuff on Xbox, some games from there, and some other, you know, interesting PS4 games like Spider-Man. You know, Spider-Man on the PS4, stuff like that. And so we were going to do that, but our capture card is acting up. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get a new one. We're going to get one from Elgato. It's very similar to the one we have now, where you just plug an HDMI source into it, and you plug in a USB 3, and you can capture with OBS. But we're also replacing Aljarno 77, I hope I pronounced that right, from Spain. Welcome. More people from Europe. I get more people on Mixer from Europe than anywhere else. I am surprised at how big Mixer is over there. Over here, you hardly hear anybody talk about it. But when I'm on stream, I get mostly people from Europe on Mixer, which is a big surprise. But again, what I was saying is, we're going to replace the capture device, and we also need to replace our studio lights. I have a green screen in there that I use when I'm streaming. And right now we have those big CFLs, those compact fluorescent bulbs, and all their reflectors and everything. And those are big, and those are taking up a lot of room. We're going to replace those with LED lights, with LED studio lights. They're not as big, and they're more, they can easily put them away. because these come with cases. We can put them in their cases. We can fold down the stands. The stands are very easy to fold down, and so we can put them away real quick, and we can put them back up real quick. And we're gonna get also the second green screen. We're gonna have to get the Elgato green screen, the one that sits on the floor and fold and is you pull it up like a projector screen. We're going to get that at the same time. We just need the money for it. The thing is, there's a couple of things in the way of us being able to do that. One, we are going to get the coils replaced on our furnace. It's in bad shape. We just had the blower replaced. We're going to replace the coils, and then we need a new stove. Then after that, we'll get all the stuff. So there's certain shows that we're not doing right now because, you know, it takes up so much room and takes up so much time to set things up. We had those other lights and we had that other green screen. We could just set it up really quick, take less than 5 minutes, and then go online. Right now, it's just too big a deal to set everything up. It takes like half an hour to set everything up, and it's all big. It takes up a lot of room, and you can't move through the room afterwards. So after we get that new capture card, we're gonna move the game consoles into there so that I can stream with them. We'll capture with the PC, capture and stream with the PC, and I'll be able to play the games and stuff, and you'll be able to see me on the screen, you know, in the corner, and I use the green screen so you'll be able to see, you know how that works. You've seen a lot of people do that on Twitch, and Mixer likely too. Oh, wow. Alright. I absolutely do need to stop now because it is getting close to 10:30 here. And I start making lunch for everybody because I'm the only guy in the house that can cook. I start making lunch for everybody at about 11. And I gotta get that done, and so we can head out and do our shopping. We're going to be going out and taking care of some stuff that we need to take care of. So I need to get off here. My message at the end of every show, because I'm doing this not only because I need to unfluffy, but also because, you know, of depression. And doing this helps. It's known, the exercise is known to help you if you have depression. You guys are great. Who come on and give encouraging words and everything. You guys are great. I really appreciate all of you who come on the stream. You really do help me a lot, and because of you guys and you come on and have such encouraging words, that's what gets me up out of bed every morning to do this stream. You know, because I know you guys are there and you are all so encouraging. I really appreciate it. But if you're suffering from those kinds of problems, if you're suffering from depression and other similar problems, you don't have to go through it alone. The one thing to is seek help. If you don't talk to a doctor about it, if you're in school, at least go see a school counselor. Talk to your school counselor. If your parents are the kind of parents that will be more sympathetic to you, who will listen, then talk to your parents. Talk to a pastor or preacher. If you regularly go to church or whatever. I don't. I'm not an atheist, but I'm not religious either. I'm a spiritualist, basically. But if you have a person that you go to and you can speak to them at your church or synagogue or temple or whatever religion you're in, and you'll see if there will be someone there who will listen to you. It helps to talk. It helps to not bottle it in. The worst thing you can do is keep it to yourself and keep it bottled in. And because I've been to dark places, I have been to dark places, and you don't want to go there. Also, don't let doctors put you on the pills. The side effects of those pills is worse than the depression itself. Don't let them give it to you. Just don't. Best thing to do, change your diet, get exercise, and don't hold anything in. Just get somebody who will listen to you, will be open-minded, and just talk. Just start telling them how you feel and just get it off your chest, and you'll be surprised at how much better you'll feel. Depression's not something that you can just get rid of. It's not something you can take a pill and it'll go away. That's not how it works. It's a chemical imbalance in the brain. It's not easily treated, but it's something that you can learn to live with. You can learn to manage. You can never get rid of it, but you can learn to manage it. And I'm in the process of doing that myself, learning to deal with it, learning to manage it, because it can be debilitating. It practically ruined the early part of my life. Basically ruined my marriage, ruined my relationship with my family, and I'm getting a fresh start for the first time in a very long time. So don't let what happened to me happen to you. Get help, stay off the medicines, and you will be far better off for it. So everybody who came on, thank you very much. I really appreciate all of you. My channel is associated with the Gamers Bay channel and the Gamers Bay community. On YouTube, I have links to the Gamers Bay community on MeWe. MeWe is a social media network that was established by Tim Berners-Lee, the father of the World Wide Web. It is a social media network that takes your security seriously. They don't sell your data or anything like that. They also don't censor you or wrongthink. If you don't follow some kind of corporate agenda like they do on Twitch, well, it's not Twitch, but Twitter and Facebook. And so we're moved Gamers Bay from Google Plus, which is shutting down, to MeWe because of this, because they are that kind of service. We moved there, so we have a link to our community in the video description. Also, there's a link to our merch store on eBay where we sell retro games. Gamers Bay channel is primarily a retro games channel, so we have original Xbox, original PlayStation 2 games. We're also getting into selling some movies and stuff, so we have it there. So every sale to the Gamers Bay store on eBay goes towards helping both our channels, because we have no other revenue. All the games that we buy for streaming and videos and everything come right out of our pockets. We don't get any ad revenue from YouTube. We have a Patreon, but we don't really get any money from that. So we're thinking of getting rid of it because Patreon is becoming political, and we want to get away from that. So we're gonna back off from Patreon for that. There are mechanisms on YouTube that are similar to Patreon that we're going to start using. Gamers Bay will be back on the partner program soon. We've got almost enough subscribers for that. My channel, not so much. I was on the partner program before YouTube changed the rules, so I'm not anymore, so I'm not making anything. And despite there might be ads on my videos, I'm not making a thing off of it. Anyway, check out the community, check out the Gamers Bay channel. I do videos over there every month, and I will be back same time, same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow with some more chat and some more pedaling and weights. So I've been Mike TheZorch. I thank all of you for coming on the stream, everybody who's watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.